A new missile enters the war. Iran says it has fired the powerful Sejjil for the first time, as a fresh wave of strikes targets Israel. Iran says it has launched a new wave of missile strikes against Israel, and for the first time in the current conflict, it claims to have used one of its most advanced ballistic missiles. According to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the 54th wave of its ongoing military campaign targeted Israeli military and strategic sites across the country. The operation was announced in a statement released through the Guard's Public Relations Office and reported by Tasnim news agency, a media outlet closely linked to the Iranian military establishment. Iran said the strikes were carried out under the code name Ya Zahra, peace be upon her, and dedicated to several Iranian war martyrs, including Mehdi and Hamid Bakeri. The IRGC statement said the wave involved a combination of ballistic missile systems. Among them were the heavy Khorramshahr missile, reportedly equipped with warheads weighing up to 2 tons, along with the Khaybar Shekan missile, the Qadr missile, and the Ahmad missile. But the most notable development was the first reported operational use of the Sejjil missile in this phase of the campaign, which Iran calls Operation True Promise 4. The Sejjil is a 2-stage solid-fuel medium-range ballistic missile believed to have a range of roughly 2,000 kilometers. Unlike older liquid-fuel missiles, solid-fuel systems can be launched far more quickly, reducing preparation time and making them harder for adversaries to detect or intercept. Analysts say the missile allows Iran to strike distant targets while launching from deeper inside its own territory. According to the IRGC statement, the missiles struck what it described as command and decision-making centers linked to Israeli aerial operations, as well as defense industrial infrastructure and military assembly points located inside Israeli territory. Iranian officials provided no additional details on the exact timing of the launches or the precise locations of the strikes, and Israeli authorities have not immediately commented on the specific claims. The escalation comes amid a widening conflict that began after US and Israeli strikes on Iranian targets earlier this year. Meanwhile, Ali Larijani, Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, issued a separate statement warning of what he described as a potential disinformation campaign against Tehran. Larijani claimed that the remaining members of Epstein's network have devised a conspiracy to stage an incident similar to the September 11th attacks and blame Iran for it. He added that Iran fundamentally opposes such terrorist schemes and insisted that the country has no war with the American people. Tehran has increasingly highlighted alleged links between the late financier Jeffrey Epstein and influential political and business figures in the United States, framing the issue as part of a broader narrative against its adversaries in Washington. As missile exchanges continue, the introduction of the Sejjil missile signals a potentially more dangerous phase of the confrontation. As the conflict between Israel and Iran intensifies, new concerns are emerging about the sustainability of Israel's missile defenses. Officials in the United States say Israel has warned Washington that its supply of key ballistic missile interceptors is running critically low after days of sustained Iranian attacks. According to US officials cited by Semaphore, Israel had already entered the current conflict with limited interceptor stockpiles, following heavy use during last summer's confrontation with Iran. As missile strikes continue, the strain on Israel's long-range air defense systems has grown significantly. The US officials said that they were aware of Israel's low capacity for months.
We have all that we need to protect our bases and our personnel in the region and our interests. Israel is coming up with solutions to address their shortage.
Reports from CNN suggest the pressure on these defenses may be intensifying as Iran reportedly adds cluster munitions to some of its missiles. Such weapons disperse multiple submunitions, potentially increasing the difficulty of interception and accelerating the depletion of defensive stockpiles. It remains unclear whether the United States could choose to provide additional interceptors to Israel. In previous years, missile defense systems have been included in American military assistance to the country. However, transferring interceptors during a prolonged conflict could also affect domestic reserves. Despite the strain on interceptor stocks, Israel continues to rely on several layers of defense against incoming missiles. Fighter aircraft can be used to intercept certain threats, although dedicated interceptor systems remain among the most effective tools for stopping long-range missile attacks. Israel's Iron Dome, for example, is primarily designed to counter short-range rockets rather than longer-range ballistic missiles. Earlier this month, US President Donald Trump said the United States possessed a virtually unlimited supply of munitions. However, military analysts have long argued that American weapons stockpiles are lower than defense planners would ideally prefer. Meanwhile, missile attacks across Israel have continued for more than 12 hours, affecting multiple regions from the south and center of the country to the northern border, where rockets launched by Hezbollah have also been reported. Early reports suggested missile damage in several locations, including Lod, Bnei Brak, and Ramlah, though some of those accounts have since been revised after authorities indicated the fires reported in those areas may not have been caused by missile strikes. Confirmed damage has been reported in Holon, where a fire broke out following an attack. 2 people in their 80s were taken to hospital, one suffering injuries from flying glass and the other treated for smoke inhalation. One of the most significant incidents occurred in the southern city of Eilat, where a missile carrying cluster munitions struck the area. The weapon dispersed across multiple locations, with at least 10 sites reporting damage and several injuries recorded, including a 12-year-old boy. Initial attempts to restrict information about the strike were complicated by its proximity to the neighboring Jordanian city of Aqaba, located just across the water. Residents there reportedly witnessed the impact, recorded footage of the incident, and shared it online. As missile attacks continue and interceptor stocks are stretched, the latest developments highlight the growing pressure on Israel's defensive systems and the broader risks posed by a prolonged confrontation in the region. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has launched what it calls the 44th phase of Operation True Promise 4, striking Israeli military positions and American bases across West Asia in one of its largest offensive actions to date. The IRGC announced the operation, saying it was carried out on the 23rd night of Ramadan and dedicated to figures the Corps considers martyrs of the resistance movement. Among them, General Qasem Soleimani, Hezbollah leader Syed Hassan Nasrallah, and Hamas leaders Ismail Haniyeh and Yahya Sinwar.
Areas in the West Bank, Tel Aviv, and Eilat in the occupied Palestinian territories were struck by powerful Iranian missile attacks in this proud operation, commemorating the memory of the martyrs of Tariq al-Quds and emphasizing the strength, particularly that of the commander of the True Promise operations, the martyr Major General Hossein Salami.
The IRGC said missiles like the Khorramshahr, Khaybar Shekan, Fatah, Imad, and Qadr struck targets in northern occupied territories, with the cities of Kiryat Shmona, Haifa, and Hadera among the locations hit. Drone strikes followed, aimed at American installations in Manama, Bahrain, and Erbil, Iraq, including the US Navy's 5th Fleet Base. The Corps also claimed to have shot down a US Boeing KC-130 Stratotanker that it says was refueling an Israeli fighter jet mid-operation, killing all 6 crew members aboard. This came after the 43rd phase of the operation, in which Khaybar Shekan missiles, each carrying a 1-ton warhead, struck Tel Aviv, Eilat, and positions in the West Bank. Brigadier General Ali Fadavi, a senior aide to the IRGC's chief commander, said the balance of power in the region had shifted.
Power equations in the region have changed in favour of the resistance front, and this transition is the start of the decline of America's hollow dominance in West Asia.
The military offensive follows what Iran describes as an unprovoked US-Israeli assault on Iranian territory that began on February 28th, during which the country's former supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was assassinated. Iran's newly appointed leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei, has since outlined the country's strategic direction in his first public message. The commander of Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters, Major General Ali Abdullahi, meanwhile, vowed that Iranian forces would stand to the last breath, warning that the enemy would be forced to pay the price for its crimes.
The enemy will be forced to pay the price for its crimes.
The operations coincide with International Quds Day, with millions rallying across Iran as strikes continue across the region.